It's now time for the Mike Wagner Show, powered by Sonic Web Studios. Visit online at sonicwebstudios.com for all your needs. The Mike Wagner Show can be heard on Spreaker, Spotify, iHeartRadio, YouTube, iTunes, Anchor FM, Radio Public, and the MikeWagnerShow.com. Mike brings you great guests and interesting people from all across the globe. So sit back, relax, and enjoy another great episode of the Mike Wagner Show.
Hey everybody, it's Mike from the Mike Wagner Show, powered by Sonic Web Studios. Visit online at sonicwebstudios.com for all your needs. Looking for a professional website without breaking your budget? Sonic Web Studios is the answer. Sonic Web Studios offers fast, affordable custom web designs at below the competition way. Call today at 1-800-303-3960. That's 1-800-303-3960. Or email to support@sonicwebstudios.com. Mention the Mike Wagner Show. Get 10% off your first order. Sonic Web Studios. Take your image to the next level. Also, the Mike Wagner Show can be heard on the MikeWagnerShow.com. You can check our Facebook page at Facebook.com/The Mike Wagner Show. You can download and listen on Facebook, SoundCloud, Spreaker, Spotify, and iHeartRadio. Also on Anchor FM, Radio Public, iTunes, Google Play, Apple, Deezer, Stitcher, and more. Take the Mike Wagner Show with you on any mobile device. Subscribe to the Mike Wagner Show on the YouTube channel. Also follow the Mike Wagner Show on Instagram and Twitter, and check out the Mike Wagner Show on over 35 podcast platforms. Just Google the Mike Wagner Show. We're here with a terrific musician from Los Angeles. He is based in that area. He's got a couple of singles, Digital, and I've Got Somebody. And just a really interesting story to tell. He's just simply an open book. He's very nice about it, and he doesn't disappear from you. And we got a terrific musician. He's singer, songwriter. He's very multi-talented. And live from the City of Angels, we have the Nice Ghost himself, Tyler Addison. Hey, Tyler from Nice Ghost. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, and thanks for joining us.
Hi, thanks, Mike. Thanks for having me on. This is going to be really cool.
Hey, it's going to be great as well, too. So you've been in Los Angeles for quite some time, and you've been a singer, songwriter, musician. You got a couple of singles, Digital, and I've Got Somebody, and you got some works coming up as well, too. And you're basically just a nice ghost, and I can tell. And before we get to all that, tell us about how you got started, and how'd you come up with the name Nice Ghost?
Well, I've been playing bands and stuff like that for a really long time. Like in middle school, I started playing around home, and then I was in a couple local punk bands and things like that back in the old days. And I just kind of went out, and I actually got hired to play, like be a sideman for some artists and that sort of thing out of Nashville for a while. But I really wanted to go back to just doing my own thing, and I had a lot of ideas brewing in my head. And around like 2016, 2015, I started thinking, okay, I really got to start recording some of this stuff. And so I just started going home, between tours and stuff like that with other artists. I started going home and just plugging things in and started to experiment. I knew a little bit about how to work the studio, but I was still very new to it at the time. So it was a lot of trial and error, but I sculpted out some cool sounds, and throughout that whole thing, I really wanted to have a cool name that I thought I wanted the name to sound like the music might sound, and I just wanted it to be a name that I thought was cool. And I'm fascinated with ghosts and things like that.
So really? Interesting.
Yeah, so I had been kind of chewing on the idea of maybe the word ghost can be in it. And then Nice Ghost came into my head, and I was like, I like this. And I looked it up, and nobody had taken it, so I jumped on the trademark, and I took it. It's mine. So that was pretty much just a year's worth of brainstorming on the name.
Really? That's interesting. Did you get permission from Casper to do that? He is a friendly ghost and a nice ghost. So
I didn't actually ask him. I should talk to him about it. But is he Casper the friendly ghost? That's a little different, right?
Yeah, exactly. He wanted to be your friend, but they look, it's like a ghost, and then runs away. But then since you're a nice ghost, it's like, people come to you and check out your music. So that's a very interesting story you have. And, you had a fascination of ghosts as well, too. I've had some people on. We talk about ghosts, paranormal, and everything else. And maybe you can just share some of your stories about your fascination with ghosts, and maybe a little bit of the paranormal involving maybe some ghosts at your end.
Well, I've, like I said, I've always been sort of interested in that kind of thing. And when I was a kid, I saw some stuff that you may say, was it kid's imagination or it might have been a ghost? I don't know. But, I just seeing ghostly figures in the dark at night, that kind of thing. But I've always been really intrigued by it. Of course, it's frightening when it's happening. But I'm really interested in that kind of topic, ghosts or aliens, anything like that, you name it. I am really interested. I'm not necessarily sold on anybody's theories on what a lot of that stuff is, as much as I'm just interested in learning about those ideas and that sort of thing.
Uh-huh. And of course, you think about the paranormal as well, too, that you believe there's some alien form. And also, what kind of stories have you been fascinated by and what's been the latest as well, too? And of course, I guess another question is, have you talked to anyone about the paranormal when it comes to ghosts?
As far as anything Nice Ghost related or anything interview or radio related, no, not yet. But I'd love to talk about it. The truth is, I don't know the answers, and I think that's why I'm so intrigued by these sorts of topics. It's because the only answers that we have are speculative. They're people sitting around in living rooms talking about, well, what if this, And I think that the unknown is just interesting about it. And, of course, I don't know. I'm just drawn to creepy things. I love horror movies, anything like that. I love to watch movies that'll make it so I can't sleep, which seems like it's torture, but I love doing it for some reason. I guess that's why we're all drawn to horror movies. Something weird about that, right?
It almost sounds like some of the horror movies influence your music. And what are some of your favorite horror movies that you've watched throughout the years?
Ooh, absolutely. Okay, so I have in addition to digital and I've Got Somebody, there are two more singles that actually just came out. One of which is called The Green Man, which it's basically my song version of a horror movie. It's a song where I used the sounds of the woods. I took cracking leaves and I was tapping on rocks with sticks and stuff like that, and I recorded it. And then I used some of those elements to make the song, The Green Man, which is about a tree figure of some sort, a tree, a monster thing that is following me around the woods. And it's based loosely on my love for slasher films. I'm a huge Halloween and Friday the 13th fan. Both of those, I think that Jason and Michael Myers are the quintessential horror movie villains. The masked guy in the shadow. I think that the original Halloween is the greatest horror movie that's ever been made. I think it's absolutely perfect. And yeah, The Green Man, it definitely, that vibe makes it into that. The idea that there's something that you're not really sure. Maybe there's something there. I don't know. There's something in these leaves. It's frightening. Mm-hmm. So that's how it kind of makes its way into my songs. And I have a new song that I'm working on that's going to come out later called Hocus Pocus. It's just about somebody putting a spell on me, not necessarily for real, but, maybe. Anything like that, I think, is quite interesting. And it finds its way into my songs for sure. This song, Digital, is about sort of being stuck online, stuck in our computers, stuck on social media, and that in itself is kind of frightening.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and we'll go and play that as well, too. We'll talk about some of your other influences, but first, to listen to The Mike Wagner Show at themikewagnershow.com, powered by Sonic Web Studios. Visit online at sonicwebstudios.com for all your needs. Look at a professional website without breaking your budget. Sonic Web Studios is the answer. Sonic Web Studios offers fast, affordable custom web designs that blow the competition away. Call today at 1-800-303-3960. That's 1-800-303-3960. Or email to support@sonicwebstudios.com. Mention the Mike Wagner Show. Get 10% off your first order. Sonic Web Studios Take your image to the next level. Also, the Mike Wagner Show can be heard on the MikeWagnerShow.com. You can check our Facebook page at Facebook.com/The Mike Wagner Show. You can download and listen on Facebook, SoundCloud, Spreaker, Spotify, and iHeartRadio. Also on Anchor FM, Radio Public, iTunes, Google Play, Apple, and more. Take the Mike Wagner Show with you on any mobile device. Subscribe to the Mike Wagner Show on the YouTube channel. Also follow the Mike Wagner Show on Instagram and Twitter today. We're here with Tyler Addison from Nice Ghost here on the Mike Wagner Show, based out of Los Angeles. We talked about a couple of his songs which are coming up, and also a couple that are soon to be released. And also we talked about some horror films, ghosts, the paranormal, and everything else. And there was one question that came to mind as well, too, that what was that one moment that influenced you into getting into music, and especially tying into ghosts?
Well, I guess getting into music and getting into ghosts would probably be two separate occurrences. But the ghost thing, I was a little kid, and I swear I rolled over and I looked over from my bed, and there was this gray, it was like a cloud, person standing there. And I mean, I stared for a second. I'm like, this can't be real, and then I ducked back under the covers, and then came back out, and it was gone. Of course, I told my mom later that I saw a ghost, and she said, no, you didn't. Go back to sleep.
Very typical of parents, I'll tell you that. It's like, here.
Honestly, she could very well have been right, and I don't know, but either way, I thought that, that might have been the thing that got me really interested in that sort of thing. So since then, I've just been kind of like, ooh, what if it's haunted? I love haunted places and that kind of thing. And then I guess the other thing, to answer your other question, how did I really get into making music? And that can be traced probably all the way back to when I was about that age as well. And I can remember vividly seeing Garth Brooks performing live at I think it was Madison Square Garden on TV. It was a live thing, and he was like flying out over the audience on these cables, and he was just so larger than life. It was the coolest thing ever, and I knew then that I was like, that's it. This is what I want to do. I want to aspire to do this. And I pretty much haven't changed my mind about that since then. I did kind of have a little diversion for a while where I kind of gave up and started working in college student affairs, but that was quite short-lived, and it made me realize that I really need to get back to making music. It was like a 6-month excursion into a new field where I was like, this will be this will be safer, right? And I just hated it. So I went back to music. I got out of Pennsylvania, and I moved to LA and got a master's degree in music. I just went for it, and I mean, it's just what I do. So it all really, I think it started with that Garth Brooks live at Madison Square Garden thing.
That is fantastic, and I'm sure he's not ghostly, and yeah, he's real. And who are some of your other favorite artists and singers and musicians besides Garth Brooks growing up?
Well, I have been in, there's so many, but I think consistently, I would say that Radiohead and Weezer are my two number one favorite artists. Listening to Weezer, Blue Album and Pinkerton especially, I think a lot of their catalog is really wonderful. But early on, those early albums that came out, I was younger, and I remember listening to them on CD on the way to school. And it was around that time also that my dad, actually my sister got me into Weezer, and my dad said, you got to hear this album, OK Computer, by this band Radiohead. Mm-hmm. And I think he had my sister burn me a copy of it. And somewhere that copy of that burned CD exists somewhere, but since then I've bought the record probably a few times over. But it was Radiohead's OK Computer, and I listened to it, and it was, of course, unlike anything I had ever heard. And I remember just even in the opening track saying to myself, like, this is it. Like, this is what I think music is meant to sound like. Like, I couldn't imagine anything have been more satisfying to my ear. And since then, I've just been obsessed with that band. I could sing every song on all their albums. I just love that. I love Radiohead. And then, of course, like I said, Weezer, I think I learned how to write songs. I learned song structure, and I learned all about harmony and singing harmony by listening to the Blue album so much, because they're like immaculate song structures with these infectious melodies that change just enough when you get to the last chorus so that you really feel like you went somewhere. And I studied that by listening to it hundreds and hundreds of times. And when I started writing songs, people would say, like, this reminds me of Weezer. And a lot of that's just because these melodies it's the song structure, and the way that the harmonies go and the way that the melodies kind of hook you in. I've really tried to do that kind of thing with my own writing. So I think probably those two artists are my biggest influences, but I love so many more. I'm obsessed with Beck. I love Beck. Flaming Lips, that was another artist I got into when I was in high school. Actually, another one that my dad introduced me to. He's a ceramic artist, and he's always listened to some really cool music. So he passed off a couple of records to me that were really great.
That is interesting. A ceramic artist, and I was going to ask you too. It's just like, how many of his works does he have, like in all the museums and wherever else, or does he run a shop and sells his gifts? Or?
Well, he works at home. He's got his own kilns set up that he's built. And he just kind of does it for his own love of it. Sometimes he'll be in art shows around Pennsylvania, Erie, PA, like Erie Art Museum, in and out of there over the years, and places like that. He has a lot of friends that are doing similar things, and they have a cool community of people that they have events together, and they all sort of show each other's art, and it is a very cool thing.
That is amazing, too. We'll play one of your songs in just a minute, highlighting your works. But first, listen to The Mike Wagner Show at themikewagnershow.com, powered by Sonic Web Studios. Visit online at sonicwebstudios.com for all your needs. Look on a professional website without breaking your budget. Sonic Web Studios is the answer. Sonic Web Studios offers fast, affordable custom web designs that blow the competition away. Call today at 1-800-303-3960. That's 1-800-303-3960. Or email to support@sonicwebstudios.com. Mention the Mike Wagner Show. Get 10% off your first order. Sonic Web Studios. Take your image to the next level. Also, the Mike Wagner Show can be heard on themikewagnershow.com. You can check our Facebook page at facebook.com/The Mike Wagner Show. You can download and listen on Facebook, SoundCloud, Spreaker, Spotify, and iHeartRadio. Also on Anchor FM, Radio Public, iTunes, Google Play, Apple, and more. Take The Mike Wagner Show with you on any mobile device. Subscribe to The Mike Wagner Show on the YouTube channel. Also follow The Mike Wagner Show on Instagram and Twitter today and over 35 podcast platforms. We're here with Tyler Addison from Nice Ghost here on The Mike Wagner Show, talking about his growing up in Pennsylvania and now in Los Angeles. We have one of his songs out there that's out right now on YouTube and more. Here's Digital from Nice Ghost on The Mike Wagner Show.
Stressing me out. You're talking too loud. I'm turning you down. And I'm doing it all digital.
Digital. That was from Nice Ghost here on the Mike Wagner Show. That was amazing and awesome. Yeah. Tell us more about that song and what inspired you to write the song Digital.
Oh boy. Well, that was the first song that would ever become Nice Ghost, and that's why I released it first. I think when I first was writing it, I wanted to have a song that I knew could be the first track on an album and really just kind of be like, hey, I'm here. This is it. This is Nice Ghost. This is what you're getting into. And so I wanted it to have elements of everything that I really love in it. So it's kind of a mashup of all of the things that I love musically. And I just started with a drum machine sample and played around with that a little bit. And I had a guitar riff that I had actually written for something else that I never finished. And I realized that I could transplant that guitar riff in and with a chorus idea that I had. And then I just, one at a time, started recording the parts. And I had a vision for it. And I just stuck to the vision. And I kept going. And it involved all sorts of weird things, you know, some backwards vocals and things like that. And it took a long time. I spent a very, very long time working on that. And also, yeah, it was early on when I was producing my own material as well. So it was very much a learning process. How do I make the bass sound this way? How do I, you know, what's going to sound good? I recorded like 1,000 different guitar parts.
Wow.
Until I had really gotten the tone of the guitar and everything, mic and everything, all of that correct, you know, and then it finally, I remember listening to it and being like, finally the guitars hit the way I want them to. You know, and now I can just be like, okay, I know how I want my guitars to hit, so I can like go in and record them that way. But like, you know, this was back when I did digital, I wasn't as quick. So it took a long time. I totally drove myself mad working on that song because it just had to be perfect, you know, It had to be perfect. And I kept going in and changing things until one day I just said, this is it, it's done. And I sent them all off for mixing it was about, I wrote it during the, election season, the last election, when all the primaries were going and we were coming up to the 2016 election, and people were fired up, as they still are, about these sorts of things. And my social media, like Facebook in particular, had become just a chamber. It was either an echo chamber of the same opinions as me, or it was people fighting about how they disagreed, and it was freaking me out. It was really freaking me out, and like it just looked like people were. I could see the fabric of our society ripping apart in front of me, and I was like, "This sucks! Like, why is everybody's fighting? And these are our people. This is our country, and we're fighting each other now." And it's like crazy to me. And so it was about that. It was about the feeling that I got when I logged into Facebook or something, and all I saw was just political bickering and anger. And I wanted that sound to come across in the song. So that whole middle section where I say it's just noise, and then it goes backwards and it loops over itself 100 times, and it turns into noise, because like that's really it's what it is. It's just, I think we're all humans at the end of the day, and people would be a lot more decent to each other had they not been behind the safety of a keyboard and a computer screen, you know. So that's what had been on my mind, and that's where the lyrics came from. It was, you know, we're talking to each other, we're all doing this stuff, we're in each other's faces, but we're doing it all digitally. We're not really. It's like, are we really interacting with each other? We are, but it's a new age for sure, and I think I'm still grappling with the reality of that.
And of course, time changes as well too. And of course, it sounds like a civil war was brewing at the time, you know, 2016 with what was happening in America. And of course, with that video, watching that as well too, kind of reminds me of Jimi Hendrix, Radiohead, Moby, and Tool just mashed together. It was just awesome.
I love all 4 of them. Thank you so much for that comparison.
Oh, my gosh. Well, I'll tell you one thing. When I saw that, it's like, it just hit home right here. We'll play your next song. I Got Somebody. We'll talk about your future plans. But first, listen to The Mike Wagner Show at themikewagnershow.com, powered by Sonic Web Studios. Visit online at sonicwebstudios.com for all your needs. Look at a professional website without breaking your budget. Sonic Web Studios is the answer. Sonic Web Studios offers fast, affordable custom web designs at below the competition way. Call today at 1-800-303-3960. That's 1-800-303-3960. Or email to support at sonicwebstudios.com. Mention the Mike Wagner Show. Get 10% off your first order. Sonic Web Studios. Take your image to the next level. Also, the Mike Wagner Show can be heard on the MikeWagnerShow.com. You can check our Facebook page at Facebook.com/The Mike Wagner Show. You can download and listen on Facebook, SoundCloud, Spreaker, Spotify, and iHeartRadio. Also on Anchor FM, Radio Public, iTunes, Google Play, Apple, and more. Take the Mike Wagner Show with you on any mobile device. Subscribe to the Mike Wagner Show on the YouTube channel. Also follow the Mike Wagner Show on Instagram and Twitter today, and check out the Mike Wagner Show on over 35 podcast platforms. We're here with Tyler Addison from Nice Ghost, based out of Los Angeles, here on the Mike Wagner Show. We just played his big hit Digital, playing on YouTube right now and other streaming services. Right now, here's I've Got Somebody from Nice Ghost right here on the Mike Wagner Show.
When it was you and I was all messed up. Nothing I could say or do was really quite enough. Now I'm moving on and I just wanna let you know I found a better lover on a cable network. I've got somebody. I moved along, my darling, now I'm not alone. So make no mistake, I moved along, now I don't need you anymore. I don't need you anymore. I don't have to leave the house to see my lover now. I practically don't even need to get up off the couch. All I've gotta do is turn the news on to see her face. We don't fight, she only says things I agree with anyway. I've got somebody. I moved along, my darling, now I'm not alone. So make no mistake, I moved along, now I don't need you anymore. I don't need you I've got somebody. I moved along, my darling. I've got somebody. I moved along, my darling. Now I'm not alone. So make no mistake, I moved along, now I don't need you anymore. I don't need you anymore. I don't need you anymore. I don't need you anymore.
I've Got Somebody from Nice Ghost here on the Mike Wagner Show. That kind of reminds me of the Smashing Pumpkins as well, too. And that's just a catchy song. I love it. And tell us more about that song and what influenced you to write it.
Oh man, well, thanks for the Pumpkins comparison too. I love Smashing Pumpkins, and Billy Corgan is one of my bald guy frontman idols.
Oh, yeah, always one of my faves. I'll tell you, I love the Smashing Pumpkins, especially being from Chicago. They're one of the best bands out there.
Mm-hmm. Well, I guess what inspired that song, I like when many of the Nice Ghost things started back in, 2015, 2016. I remember I was actually coming off of I was playing with a cover band, and we had just completed it's called the Tiger Cruise. It's a thing where we rode with the Navy on the Theodore Roosevelt ship, the aircraft carrier, at the end of their deployment, and performed for them like every day, which was a whole other thing. But I had a melody pop in my head in a hotel room in San Diego after getting back from that thing before we were headed back to Nashville. And I remember sitting in this hotel room, and I just was kind of like, I got somebody, and just the melody came in, and the phrase "I've got somebody," and I was like, "Ooh, this is going to be a song I got to write. That's super catchy. Got to keep it." And then I just didn't.
Oh no!
I didn't do anything with it. Many songs start out that way. It'll be an idea that I jot down on paper or I record a voice memo of, and then I forget about for quite a while. And then I did kind of forget about it. To me, I was like, oh, I don't know if it's serious enough to be Nice Ghost. It might be too poppy. But one day, after I had moved back out to LA, and this was in 2017, I just started playing around with the idea, and I decided, well, I'm going to sit down and I'm going to finish this song. I'm just going to record it right now in my bedroom. So I just started recording parts, and I wrote down the lyrics to the verse, so just as the thoughts came into my head, and I thought, this is fine. I don't need to change this. This is exactly how it should be. And I just recorded it right away, and well, actually, I got most of it, and then I was like, it needs something else. It needs something else. And then I realized it needs a key change. That's what it needs. So I went in and I recorded the ending with shifts up a key. And then I was like, okay, it's done. It's officially done. And I send that one off to get mixed and mastered also. And it's crazy because that song, the amount of time spent obsessing over that song compared to the amount of time that I spent obsessing over digital, it's so different. Like, it was a whole different process. It just seemed to go the way I wanted it to as it went. Of course, the production on it isn't as dense or as crazy as digital. Digital is very multi-layered. I've Got Somebody on the other hand, is a very straightforward rock song. And initially, I just was thinking, well, it's going to be about, I've got somebody, I moved on to somebody new, whatever. Typical story. We've all heard that before, right?
Mm-hmm.
A song about
boy meets girl, girl meets boy, and they go out, break up and everything. It's almost a version of It's Not You, It's Me.
Right. So it's, we've heard that story before. But then I was like, well, how do I make it really into a Nice Ghost song? It's got to be a little darker and weirder than that to be a Nice Ghost song. So the words ultimately ended up being about falling in love with a news reporter and not leaving the house because you think that you're in a relationship with your television. And there's a little nod about how we don't fight. She only says things I agree with anyway. And that's like, well, that's a statement about the news. So really the song is kind of about, the way that our media can influence the way that we feel about things. And if there is a news source that agrees with your own viewpoints and you keep saying, well, this is the only correct news source, well, there might be a bias involved with that. And the news source might be aware of that. And so that's the kind of thing that I think about. And so that's how that ended up in the song. And that's kind of what it's really about to me. And that's how I made it into a Nice Ghost song and not just a regular song about two people that break up and then somebody meets somebody new. Duh, we've all heard that before. You know,
how many times? Millions or so?
Oh, I would be an interesting doctoral dissertation or something. I don't know. Figure that one out.
Yeah, so let me count 1 million ways. We'll talk about that next time. And what are your upcoming plans for 2020?
Well, the plan was to release this record, a full-length album and a string of singles, and then the album comes out, and then do a tour. Now, the COVID pandemic has certainly changed that picture a little bit, but that's just, I don't know when I'm going to tour. But I do know that the music is still coming out. I've got the album set to release right now, August 28th. That might vary by a day or two, but it's going to be around the end of August. It's a full-length record called Digital, and that's the title track. It will have all of the singles that I'm releasing every month up until then on all the platforms like Spotify and Apple Music, Amazon, Deezer, et cetera, et cetera. So I'll have a single every month and then the album in August. And then hopefully if we can get things back to normal, I'll be doing some touring for that. I would love to hit the road with just my guitar and maybe a little looper and a couple little effects and take a small scale version of the show out there and play for as many people as possible. I have a lot of friends around the country that I've met through touring with other artists and that kind of thing. And I'm really hoping to bring people together and see a lot of my old friends and see a lot of the cities that I love and have a chance to travel and really just hoping to be able to do that, but I don't know when. It just certainly depends on how this the COVID-19 situation goes, and I don't know how that's going to go. So we'll see. But in the meantime, I'm working on new music. I'm recording new ideas every single day. I'm trying to make content for the online crowd right now, trying to perform and help people stay happy while they're kind of locked in their homes. For me, my natural state is locked in my home. Mm-hmm. This is how I create. This is how I really thrive. Is when I have kind of isolation, privacy to do my work. And so I've been very, very creative and productive in this time, and I'm hoping that I can use that to make other people's lives a little bit better, because I know it's a really hard time for people. And if anybody loves my music, then I really hope that I can make them smile. And so I just keep on working on things, and let's see where it goes.
Sounds great, and looking forward to having you back on sometime in 2020 and beyond, and give us an update on that. And just a couple of things here with Tyler Addison from Nice Ghost. Who do you consider your biggest influence in your career?
Well, honestly, the encouragement of a number of people that I've met over the years. And, these are people that as far back as high school and up until now, who have been very supportive and encouraging of me along the way. Of course, like my family is some of those people, and a lot of people from my hometown who always said, like, Tyler, you should go out and really pursue this. We think you could do something with this. And of course, I'm very good at telling myself, oh, no, don't get your hopes too high. Let's keep your expectations realistic. And but I've been pushed by a lot of people to really pursue things that I thought might have been pie in the sky ideas, that I didn't know if I could ever really do it. But as I've really gone for it, the advice of those people has served me well, and I've done a lot of amazing things that 10 years ago I wouldn't have ever thought I would have done. So honestly, all of those people that said anything along the lines of, hey, you should get out, you should show this to people in Nashville or LA, or you really inspire me, like, keep making music, like anything like that has been such a huge encouragement for me. And that has really led me to do all of this. Because without people telling me that, I would have never really thought that it was possible.
Mm-hmm. It does sound like you really made lives happen and everything else, which is great. And what's the best advice you can give to anybody at this point?
If somebody wants to dedicate their life to making music as a career and all that, the best possible advice is to be relentless in that pursuit. Don't listen to anybody that says that it's not possible or that it's unlikely or that it's hard to do or like whatever. If somebody's trying to discourage you from it, do not listen to those people. End of story. Don't listen to them because they're wrong. If you want it and you believe that you can do it, then you can do it. The music business and this world, you know, you can be in it, and the people that want to be in it the most are in it because they've dedicated themselves to it. And the other thing is anybody that really wants to do this kind of thing seriously, you have to pursue it seriously. And that means that you may have to move, you may have to relocate your whole life. You may have to quit jobs and try new things and take risks. And it seems frightening, but if you do it with the right work ethic and you really commit to doing it, there is plenty of work for you and it can be done and you absolutely can do it. So anybody I encourage to do that, but be willing to truly dedicate to it. You can't just dip your toes in the water. You got to dive in if you really want to do it.
And that is so true as well, too. Very encouraging. Once again, Tyler Addison from Nice Ghost, a big thank you for your time. You've been fantastic. Looking forward to having you again soon. Keep us up to date. And before we go here, tell us about your upcoming projects. What's your website? How do people contact you? Where can people purchase or listen to your music?
Okay, well, I'm on every major platform worldwide as far as downloading and streaming goes. So Spotify, iTunes, Amazon, Google Play, Deezer, anything like that, search for Nice Ghost. And if you can't find me, send me an email. Come to my website, and that's niceghostmusic.com. You can find contact information on there. You can reach out to me on any of the social media platforms. I respond to everything myself. So Facebook, I'm on facebook.com/niceghostmusic. There is Instagram. My handle on Instagram is Nice Ghost Official. By all means, please reach out to me on any of these platforms. I have all the information for you. What else? I think that about sums it up. You can find me on all those. YouTube, I'm on YouTube as well. And I need subscribers. I don't have a lot of subscribers on there. I got way more views on my Facebook videos than I do on my YouTube videos. And it is what it is. So please follow me on YouTube too.
we will do that. And once again, Tyler, a big thank you for your time. You've been more than Nice Ghost. You've been fantastic. Looking forward to having you again soon. Do us a favor, keep this up to date. Looking forward to having you on in 2020 and beyond. And you've been fantastic.
Thank you so much, Mike. I really appreciate this.
Thanks for listening to the Mike Wagner Show, powered by Sonic Web Studios. Visit online at sonicwebstudios.com for all your needs. The Mike Wagner Show can be heard on Spreaker, Spotify, iHeartRadio, iTunes, YouTube, Anchor FM, Radio Public, and themikewagnershow.com. Please support our program with your donations at themikewagnershow.com. Join us again next time for another great episode of The Mike Wagner Show.